Am I in there?
Yep, we're all
Do the
good.
thing. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna do something a little bit different today. I know you guys are used to seeing my face and seeing my voice when we do our broadcasts and whatnot. But today, I figured we roll out a little prospect list. You know, we're getting to the point of the year where people are asking who's the best point guard in the league, who's the best shooting guard in the league. You know, talking about locks and power forwards and stuff. So I want to preface this before we really get into this for the people that are already in here. This list is not mine. My list will be coming out in a couple weeks. My own top 5 list, and then my larger big board that will come out around Thanksgiving or so. That's kind of when I really start seeing this stuff get relevant. But we did something cool today where we talked to every single coach in Pro-Am, and we wanted to find out what their top 5 at every single position was. So, Coach, without further ado, I guess we just kind of start this off. Let's actually do reverse order in terms of which position I think is most important. So let's start this year with lock. Let's start with lock as our 5th position. So remember, these were voted on by the coaches of Pro-Am, not by me, not my list. Don't get mad at me. Go yell at somebody else. So let's start with the locks, and let's see what the coaches came up with.
All right, yeah, here it is right here. Bringing it up right now. And you're telling us we have to wait for your list? Come on, man.
Yes, you will have to wait for my list. I got to get the streams back going. I got to get all set up and ready to go. So this is our lock list coming in from our coaches poll. What's Thick number 1, Zay number 2, BAGMOTION 3, Sleep 2K 4, and ELITESTEALS 5. A couple vote guys at the bottom: Logic Stark, I See the Goat, Famous, Goon, Mean Streets, Green Too Nice, That's Range, and Icy Hill. I've seen most of these guys play. I pretty much agree with this list. Zay being under WHATSSTICK, I think people might look at that and be like, oh, what are you talking about? Zay's going to be maybe a top pick in the league, whatever. Remember, this isn't an NBA 2K League list. This is all based off of just Pro-Am. So I think in terms of quality of play, WHATSSTICK definitely deserves to be at the top. Though I like seeing Sleep 2K, Sneak R in there, number 4. Coach, what do you make of this list?
You know what? I think we take a look at the numbers there on the right that show, what coaches kind of ranked them and what the average are. And you see it's a competitive list. And that's what stands out to me, and I agree with that. There are some really good locks on this list, and it's hard to really differentiate which one is the best. But I think it's a good list, especially those top 3, WHATSSTICK, Zay, and BAGMOTION.
I'm interested to see what the chat thinks as well. So, Mr. Fox, if you're watching, if you don't mind tossing a poll in the Twitch chat, finding out kind of where our viewers would rank these guys. We'll do a community poll as well. We'll see what you guys come up with, and if it's the same or different than the one that we put out here. So there are your locks. Top 5 right now for the coaches poll. WHATSSTICK, Zay, BAGMOTION, Sleep 2K, and ELITESTEALS. That's 1 to 5. Coach, I picked this position. You get to pick the next one. Where do you want to go?
You know what? Let's go ahead and just move one down to the 4th spot, because sometimes those role players are really important. So let's see what that has going for it.
All right, let's go to power forwards here. Ooh, a lot of names that you guys will definitely recognize. MERC, JARSITY, PEROXIDE, PUTBACK, and CANTSWING. Those are your top 5 guys. Then under them, you got Sloth, Stay Mellow, Roach, I'm Dope, Glowski, and Mac Reborn. Coach, I gotta say, I like this list. I think the coaches are too low on PUTBACK. I'd probably put PUTBACK at number 2, just based off how good that no tolerance team has been, and he's been a huge part of how great their defense was. That's not to say that JARSITY and PEROXIDE aren't playing as well. It's just that, JARSITY did just kind of get kicked up by his team. PEROXIDE is good, but that Liquid team is kind of imploded. I would put PUTBACK in 2. And there we go. Yeah, Guns and SIGS, they agree with me as well. Zero Dark ENG, is Dietrich a 4 or is he at 5? I don't know. He might be at the 5.
I think in
be prepared. Dietrich is on one of the lists to come. He's not on the power forward list though.
Yeah, that's an interesting question because I think sometimes Dietrich does play the 4, but he always is in that 5 slot whenever it comes to loading into the games. But I definitely agree. Putback, that's a bit low in my opinion, but he is in that top 5 where I do think he belongs. MERC and JARSITY, you know, in that vote, it's close for who's number 1. But like I said, I think Putback needs to be closer to that number 1 spot.
Zero Dark ENG says throw it in the trash. He's a 4. He plays for me. Well, it's not my list. Go yell at the coaches. You will see Dietrich on a list in a little bit. So don't get too mad. I promise that your guy will be on there. But for the coaches poll, yeah, MERC, JARSITY, PEROXIDE, Putback, CANTSWING. It's not bad. I would definitely put Putback number 2 though, or maybe even number 1. Depends on kind of how you feel between him and MERC. But I think Putback is a little bit too low. He was really good in the biggest tournament so far. All right, so that's power forward. Let's jump to shooting guard. Let's go to the 2. This one is very interesting. I like this one a lot. This one's definitely going to get the chat going a little bit. It might make him a little bit mad. But here's the shooting guards. Glizzy number 1, Johnny Red number 2, Glenn number 3, Benzo number 4, and then tied for 5th, it's Witness and TREYDOLLAZ. Also receiving votes, Yo J Gill, Ty ESGN, Lavelle Cole, It's Latin, and Finessed. I like this list. I actually haven't gotten a chance to watch a lot of Johnny Red yet this year, so I can't totally say if he's been better than Glizzy. I've gotten to watch a lot of Glenn this year. I think his spot on this list is definitely deserved. Benzo's been good this year too. A little sad to see Yo J Gill not on the top 5, but I understand why he's on here. But yeah, you know, kind of like what Anki says in the chat, I'm not mad at this. I think that this is a decent shooting guard list, especially for this time of year. I'm sure it'll adjust as we continue to move through the UPA season. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, I don't have many opinions on shooting guards itself. I mean, we could base this, we could try to base this a little bit based off of the $30,000 tournament. And, you know, Johnny Red and Glizzy both were in the finals overall. But, you know, this is going to be based on what coaches have seen since that tournament with pre-draft. So I don't have a lot of opinions on it, but I do think that that's 2 good choices for the top 2. The other 3, don't know a lot about them. I know the names, but would like to see more before I make my comment.
Well, I like the top 3 here, kind of like what Zero Dark ENG says. I like Glizzy, Johnny Red, and Glenn. I think those have definitely been the top 3. How you fill out the rest of the list is kind of up to you, but from a shooting guard perspective, I like it. Let's go to the center spot. I know we're kind of running through these, but you might as well be might as well throw a little speed on it. Happy Friday night to everybody, by the way. So here's our center list. Big Rain number 1, Trust DJ Money number 2, Dietrich number 3, Plo number 4, and Polo number 5. Also receiving votes, you got O'Leary, you got Ant Don't Miss, Guapo, Prod, Kev Hing, and number 9. Guapo actually got drafted last night in the WR Select tournament, so congrats to him. But I like this center list. Rain was great during that Dallas tournament. He couldn't quite beat Hezzy. Hezzy definitely had his number, but that's the number 3 overall pick in the draft. So not too surprised that this is the way it's gone. I like Big Rain and Trust DJ Money at the top. Like seeing Plo get a lot of love here at 4. There's Dietrich there at number 3. And then Polo, the only proper popper on this list, coming in number 5. Yeah, no league players, guys. No the rules on this. Oh, I guess I should have said the rules. How rude of me. The rules for this, no NBA 2K League players from Season 4, no age requirement, and you must have played a UPA League on 2K22.
Yeah. Important to kind of go over to that, you know. We're not including Season 4 players, even though there are Season 4 players competing in UPA right now with it being pre-draft. But my opinion on this, I think it's a great list. I think I'd move Forever Polo to 4 instead of 5 myself, but still, it's a great list. I think Big Rain at 1, Trusty Too Many 2, Dietrich 3. I'm surprised Dietrich doesn't have, you know, closer to 2, that he's at 3.5, but still, I think it's a good positioning.
Yeah, Guns in the chat saying, you're a troll, let him rock. Boy, was who being against me? He did well. Hey, they got to the finals, man, and I thought he and Sherm were the two best players on that team. I was very impressed by Rain. As somebody who thought he was really good last year, but maybe not quite ready for the league, I think he has shown that he's really worked on his game. And I think Rain is in my opinion at least, the top center prospect that hasn't been in the league already. I think DJ Money is up there as well. I'll be honest, so I haven't seen as much DJ Money this year as I have Rain. So I know that DJ has a lot of talent, but I'm excited to see him on 2K22. I'm sure I'll see him on the main UPA channel at some point. Any other thoughts, Coach Dave, before we move on to the very controversial point guard poll?
You know, I don't have too much to say. I do see O'Leary 2K and Don't Miss. They're also receiving votes, so I think those two have great potential to move up on this list. But that's about it.
Shout out to Moody in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. Congrats to congrats and well done to you on the Magic tournament. It was fun listening to somebody else besides Indy and I call a game. Thought you did a great job. So that's centers. Rain, DJ Money, Dietrich, Plo, and Polo. Let's now go to point guard. I need a little bit of a drum roll here. Drum roll. Bam, point guards. Let's check them out. There it is. Our top 5 point guard list already. This is going to definitely make some people in the chat mad, but I actually don't hate this list at all. Spam the unanimous number 1. Greens number 2. MJB number 3. Kenny Zeus number 4, and then SELDUM tied at 5. Guys also receiving votes: Claude, Jumper, Unguardable, Antoine Love, Bam, Bougie, The Real Tay, and Fanta Season. I think you'll see some of the guys that have received votes: Claude, Jumper, and Unguardable specifically for me. Bam as well. You can throw Antoine. I guess everybody down there. All of them have been playing very well, but you have to remember, this is a top 5 poll, so you're going to have some big names that are cut out. I like Spam. I like Spam and Greens at the top. I think they've definitely been the best 2 point guards that I've watched. I'm surprised that SELDUM is down to 5 and they have MJB over him at 3. I think SELDUM has played really, really well this year, but I can understand some GMs wanting to side with the overall talent that MJB brings. But I think the big surprise on this list has to be Kenny Zeus, who, look, I've watched him play a couple times now. I did not know who he was before this year, and Kenny has really impressed me. I'm very impressed by his playmaking, by his shot creation. I'm a fan of having Kenny Zeus in the top 5. What's your initial takes on this, Coach Jay?
You know what? I'm not too surprised about Spam kind of going unanimous. I think I didn't expect it. I'll say that, but it doesn't surprise me. As for your comment, MJB, SELDUM, they're lower than I would expect, but I do understand because SELDUM has trouble finishing in tournaments, and that's what's kind of hurt him, and would love to see him finish out and win a big championship like multiple times this season, this pre-draft. So we'll just have to see about that. Also, Antoine Love on the list, Unguardable, as well as Fantasy Season. I think those guys have stood out to me in the past. We'll see if they move up. But yeah, I think it's a really decent list. Just like to see a few changes here and there.
Yeah, I like this list. People in the chat are saying Spam 1A, Greens on B, but unanimous. Nap doesn't know how Greens doesn't get a first place vote. I'll say this. Greens obviously isn't a overall newcomer, but at the same time, I think this has a lot of credence towards what Spam did this offseason during post-draft. I know that Greens played very well as well, but I think if you're a coach or GM and you're trying to list the best point guards in Pro-Am right now, I think having Spam number 1 isn't a huge surprise. I can understand why they all have the same kind of idea off the top of their heads. But Greens being number 2, I mean, I spoke to Dave Fry before the season. He told me that he thought that Greens was going to end up being a top 5 pick this year. If Greens keeps playing like this, he will definitely be a top 5 pick this year. So being number 2 this early with so much more room for him to grow, I think that's a good spot for him. But, you know, I know MJB is on this list and Spam is on this list. Both those guys not eligible for the league this year. I believe. I know Spam isn't. I think MJB is in the same boat. But as of right now, Greens I've been very impressed with him and that whole Eyeball Empire, or that whole Empire Gaming team. So, yeah, I like this point guard list. I like to see Unguardable get a little bit more love, maybe find his way onto this list at some point this year, but he still has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, with Greens, I think he's on a really good squad, but I don't think that it's necessarily Greens itself that got him to that number 2 spot. He has really good help around him. So not to take away from his skill, but I place him probably 3 or 4. But still, on top 5, I think he has a lot of potential to make it to that season 5.
I'm going to drop something in the chat here asking people who they think the best point guard is in Pro-Am. Let me get this up here really quick. Seldom. Okay, we'll put this up there for a minute. Boom. All right. Get a vote in. Who is the best PG in Pro-Am? Spam, Eyeball Greens, MJB, Kenny ZEUS, and Seldom. I want to see how people vote. Once we will do this for every other position. We're going to go back through everything a second time. We want to make a little community list out of this as well. So we'll see how they go. I don't hate this point guard list though, man. I think it's good. It has a good mix of up and comers, young guys, league players, and also the guys who also receive votes. I mean, it's such a stacked position. It's kind of hard to expect for it to be 100% correct, you know?
Yeah, it really is. And these are based off of like coaches that are in the community, and it's not anybody like you or me or any of the admins for UPA. These are coaches, the guys who are actually watching the games as they happen, who are paying attention, looking at scouting reports, and I think it's a good list.
Well, Spam comes out on top. Spam, Greens, ZEUS, MJB, and Seldom ended up coming out in the top 5. Let's go back to center, and we can do our center poll here.
Yeah, we'll definitely switch over to there.
Yeah, let me... Who is the best center in Pro-Am? Let me do it based off the list you guys see on the screen. This is your chance. If you disagree with the list, you're allowed to get your own in here. Trust DJ Money. You got D-Trick. You got Zplo. And you got Forever. All right. And go. All the positions were really good. D-Trick to the 4, and it's damn near perfect. Yeah, again, I wasn't in charge of putting these guys in specific positions, but D-Trick has been playing the 4 really well this year. Well, if he's playing the 4 that well, that he's getting to number 3 on the center list, that should tell you all you need to know.
What's also kind of interesting, bringing up the fact that Nap is here, is the legacy leaderboards. Those came out not too long ago, and one thing that was mentioned was, you know, there's a little bit of I wouldn't say controversy behind it, just a little bit of surprise behind it, in my opinion. The fact that most of the teams that are on that list are from Xbox. It's a combination of both consoles.
Yeah, that's a great point. Who's the best center in Pro-Am? Couple votes coming in here. Looks like Plo is going to win. Very surprising. I think Plo's been good. I don't know if I'd call him the best center in Pro-Am. I think that spot for him at number 4 is a really good spot, but hey, that's why it's a community poll and not mine. Remember, guys, I'm going to have my own rankings coming out in a couple weeks on my channel, so be prepared for more big boards and chaos. Let's go to reverse order. Let's go back to shooting guards, Coach, and we'll do the community poll for shooting guards.
Sounds good.
Who is the best shooting guard in?
Now, I'm really interested in kind of this one because, like I said, I don't have too many opinions on it. Excuse me. But between Glizzy and Johnny Red, I want to see what the community thinks.
And then we have, what here we go? Witness / Trey. Okay. And go. Give it a vote. Xbox says he was surprising. I guess PS5 no tolerance has been so dominant, hurt the other PS5 teams. Yeah, they've been rolling over everybody. I think so many teams have imploded, and there's not a lot of consistency on the console right now. So Sam too surprised. All right. The vote is coming down. Who's the best shooting guard in Pro-Am? Get your votes in. Let your voice be heard. If you have strong feelings about it, this is the time to let us know. We're going to have our own community list coming out soon. Glizzy currently sitting at number 1. Glenn is catching up on him. My boy Glizzy, his IQ and playmaking has improved. Yeah, I've always loved Glizzy's game. I'm glad to see him continue to dominate. He's definitely a guy that you got to watch out for at the league in a couple of years. He's not quite there yet, though. Not quite there. Like, we're coming to the end of the vote, and that's going to do it. Glizzy number 1, Glenn number 2, Benzo number 3, Johnny number 4, and Witness/Trey number 5. So that's shooting guard. Let's jump over to lock now, Coach, and we'll get lock and power forward and wrap things up. Pretty quick show, but I wanted to show the top prospect list and get some community vibes as well. All right, power forwards is up. Let me make this poll here. Who is the best power forward in Pro-Am? You got MERC. You got JARSITY. You got PEROXIDE. You got PUTBACK. And then you got CANTSWING. I know who I would put number 1, but I'm going to keep my opinion out of it.
Well,
it's not my list.
Out of it for now. We'll wait until November.
Just wait, man. The chaos is going to be great this year. We're gonna have big boards, a new big board every week in December, so that'll continue to be updated. A lot of votes for Putback. I would care to agree. It's not that JARSITY and PEROXIDE have been playing bad. It's just kind of different, you know. It's just different. I think Putback, you know, the fact that he won and played so well on such a big stage, I'm not surprised that it's tossing it so far towards his way. Looks like that's probably how it's going to end. Putback number 1, MERC number 2, CANTSWING number 3, and then PEROXIDE and JARSITY coming in tied in 5th, and that's how it's going to end. So there's your community power forward list. And for one final time, let's go over to lock. We will finish where we started. Coach, if you don't mind pulling that one up, thank you.
Yeah.
Let me type this out. Who is the best lock in Pro-Am?
So we are doing a community poll right now, and this is the last one of the 5 positions. BAGMOTION,
Sleep 2K, or ELITESTEALS. Okay, you got 1 minute to vote. Who is the best lock in Pro-Am according to your thoughts and dreams? Not a lot of votes for the locks. Get those votes in. Give the locks a little love. Come on now. Come on. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's more like it. Moody says none of the above. Moody, I like that. I like that energy from you. Dietrich wants Goon. Can't hate it. We have a tie right now between ELITESTEALS and ZAYY. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Last second vote comes in.
Let's see. Are we going to get a last second vote, or is it going to be tied between ELITESTEALS and ZAYY? Oh, we got 2 votes at the end. All right. Well, ZAYY will jump ahead of ELITESTEALS here. So our community list: ZAYY, ELITESTEALS, BAGMOTION, WHATSSTICK, and then Sleep 2K at the end. Icy should be top 5. He's been hooping the entire year. Yeah, I was also a little surprised not to see Icy on this list. I think he's been very good. Okay. We got our list. I need an okay from the UPA admins. If we got our list, we'll be making a graphic with the community list coming out in a little bit. But let's, it's a good start. It's a good start for the rankings this year. We appreciate all the coaches that rolled through. I feel like I'm announcing the college football rankings, the playoff rankings. But that's going to be it for today. That's our community prospect list. Again, I'll just read them off here. Point guard, Spam was number 1. Shooting guard, Glizzy was number 1. For lockdown, WHATSSTICK, number 1. For power forward, it was MERC at the number 1 spot. And then at center, it was the big man himself, Big MF Rain. If you guys want to check out the rest of the list, go back through this broadcast, and I believe we will also be publishing the full list as well. So keep an eye out on that. Keep an eye out for more of these prospect list rankings as we go. Any final words from you, Coach?
Yeah, just a couple things just to go over. In the UPE in general, there's 2 days remaining before registration closed for MPBA. For that league going on, make sure you get signed up for that. Also, registration for the $50,000 tournament in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
You got to get signed up for that. Registration's going to be ending soon. Get signed up. Got less than a week now, I think, to sign up for that. And then today's the last day if you want to sign up for WR Jam League. And also be able to get into the bonus tournament, which is going to be the WR Jam Open. That's 3v3 tournament for money. Get signed up.
If you're thinking that you don't want to play if you don't want to play 3v3, I'm going to look at you dead in the eye. Okay, I'm looking right at you. I promise you, you're going to want to play 3v3. Especially if you are involved in pre-draft. Play 3v3. I'm going to stare you down. Do it.
Involved. I'll just go to Rick.
I'm just going to stare at you. Do it. All right, that's going to do it for today's show before I get in trouble. We will have another broadcast this weekend. Coach, when's our next UPA broadcast?
You know what? I think we've got another one coming up in a few days. I haven't seen the schedule in a couple days now.
Keep an eye out on the 2K League socials at least. Or 2K League socials. UPA socials. Oh, dude, I'm a robot when it comes to this stuff. I'm a bot.
Unified Pro-Am on Twitter. Go ahead and keep an eye out for anything that's upcoming. You can also check at MPBA 2K, at WR Pro-Am League, at ADBA for any updates with those leagues individually.
Cool. That's going to do it for us. Adios. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Happy holidays. Happy Halloween. We'll see you guys in a couple days.
See ya.